Hello, my name is Ruchika Jha and today I am with Mr. Rahul Ralhan, who is the VP of Marketing at Housing.com. And throughout this conversation, we'll be talking about the year, how the year has been for the brand, what were the key takeaways, the brand's campaigns and more. Hello sir, welcome.
Thank you.
Your recent campaign, Her House Ke Liye, Housing, aimed at capturing emotional aspiration moments. So what was the core insight that drove this campaign?
Okay. So to understand the insight, we'll have to go to the start of the consumer journey, right? Most of the consumers now, once they think of buying a home, they start their journey online, right? And it's a high stake decision because there's a lot of money involved. If you're lucky, you buy a house once or twice in a lifetime. So their motive is to gather and see as many options online and gather as much of information online so that they could make an informed decision. They could shortlist and then physically go and visit that. As a brand, we wanted to be right at the start of the journey, right? And then, once we went back to the consumers and did our, consumer behavior research studies, we understood that the biggest trigger when they think of buying a home is upgrade, whether it's a life stage upgrade, whether it's an increment or a promotion, whether it is a windfall gain. You've arrived in life at a particular stage and then you want to buy a home. So we wanted to own that, cultural insight of upgrade. And the other part which is, interesting is who else could do it better than Housing.com, because intrinsically we are the category, we are housing. So that was the idea, and to start and to capture that mindset right at the start, and then position the brand that for whatever your need is, there is a house waiting for you on Housing.com.
Absolutely. And was this campaign conceptualized, created by in-house, or did you partner with any agency?
So we worked with Liye
Okay, got it.
As an agency.
Got it. So, how has the brand positioning of Housing.com evolved over the past 2-3 years? If you can walk us through that.
I'll take it a little, take you a little further back in time. I'll give you a journey of maybe 7-8 years. So in 2018-19, we did a campaign, Ghar Dhoondna Hai Koi Inse Seekhe, and we have this is the 4th campaign since then. The common thing across all these campaigns is that we have always picked on cultural truths, right? In every category, you would see there is a feature-led communication which is happening, and similar in this category, it was happening. People are either talking about options or information, right? But then, how could you cut through? How will you resonate or connect with the audience? The best way and the most tested way is that you pick up a cultural truth that people connect with, and you latch on to that. So Ghar Dhoondna Hai Inse Seekhe was a campaign back in 2018-19 where we put the female in control of the home search process, and nobody had thought about their perspective or put forward their perspective. We were the first brand to do so. And rightly so, because when it comes to home search, they are more diligent and clinical about because they are the ones who make a house a home, right? So they are more clinical about home search process, what kind of home they would want in the future for the family. So why not show their perspective? So that was the idea with Ghar Dhoondna Hai Koi Inse Seekhe. And then that ran successfully for 2 years. Then as a brand, we ventured into many other services under real estate, right? So we had to broaden the positioning. Again, what was the cultural truth that we, based the communication on was the fact that we Indians believe in doing mehnat, right? There are no shortcuts in life, especially millennials and earlier generations. If we get something easily, we sort of doubt, right? And that is very true with home search process as well. There's primarily 2 types of pain. There's physical drudgery that you have to go and visit and see so many houses. And there is mental anguish. Am I doing the right thing? Is the right time to buy the house? Right? Interestingly, so people like doing physical drudgery. People want to go through that process of seeing so many houses because that level of satisfaction and fulfillment is there. That I have seen, I have done the job, and then I have made an informed decision. Right? So we wanted to celebrate that. And that was the campaign Yahan Search Khatam Karo, which showed different journeys of a owner, of a buyer, of a renter, right? And we celebrated pain by way of saying that mehnat to karoge, do that mehnat, but your search will end on housing.com
Housing.
because we have everything that you'd want. So that again ran for 2 years. Then the brand became number one in terms of audience, in terms of downloads, right? So we had to somewhere talk about that as well, but not in a very typical way that we are a number one real estate app, right? It's hard for people to believe, right? Any other category, would say in Delhi, you would say most of the channels, radio channels would be saying Delhi's number one radio channel. Right?
Yes.
But what matters is what the consumers believe, right? And to make them believe, you need to again come back from a culturally relevant insight and back it up with a reason to believe, right? Again, so what insight we took then was that, in every home buying or home search decision, after the purchase also, there is some level of doubt or compromise that you're left with, right? I could have done better, right? Or I could have found a better house, right?
Yes.
So there's always a level of compromise. Again, we celebrate. We are an optimistic brand. So we celebrated those compromises or doubts by saying that whatever your doubt is, you'll find a house on housing.com because we have enough and more options. And that was the foundation of Per Se Perfect campaign. Whatever your per is, you'll find a perfect house on housing.com. And we used slice of life, different nuanced pers. The houses were great. But there is a slight doubt in the mind of a home seeker, and it's okay. You'll find more houses on housing.com. So that was the last campaign which ran for 3 years, and then now it's Har House Ke Liye Housing. It was about time that we as a brand are housing.com, and we sort of represent the category by the name as well. So why not make it synonymous to the category? And to be able to do that, we need to start right at the start. Hence, we won't upgrade as a trigger or as a motivation. We want to own that space.
Got it. So while focusing on such crucial aspects and while coming up with such insightful campaigns, what percentage of marketing spends do you spend on your campaigns, like each you spent for this year, and what was the media mix for the same?
So again, the marketing spends or the media mix, I would say, that would evolve with time. If you ask 7-8 years ago, we were very heavy on traditional mediums. But as the consumer, consumption pattern had evolved, there are more cord cutters now, right? People are more on digital than on, traditional, especially in our markets, right? So hence, our media mix has also evolved. We are not digital first. In terms of our approach, we are planning a sustained presence throughout the year, right? Because this category is a very media elastic category as well, right? At one point in time, you have to build your brand with an always-on strategy, and because it is a sustained always-on strategy, we have taken high reach and high affinity mediums / genres for our core audience, which are home buyers, and planned our media accordingly.
Got it. And for this campaign, Har House Ke Liye Housing, who were your target audience?
Our core audience is the home buyer.
Home buyers.
And renter. But within home buyers, because, a renter today will become a buyer tomorrow. Right. So you need to have that, you need to capture that mind space of a renter as well. Right. So demographically wise, if I could say, it will be 25 to 45-year-old in our key markets, right? And people who are planning to buy a home or already in market, searching to buy or rent a home. Of course, those are the
Got it. You mentioned that the brand's media mix is like elastic. So housing.com is also very much present on Instagram as well, and produces its original contents in IP series. So my next question is that I observed that Instagram has announced that it has reduced number of hashtags from 30 to 3 now. So what is your take on that, and how do you see it?
See, brand building is, and the way people are branding has also evolved. It was primarily advertising, right? But now it's a mix of advertising and content, right? And the first rule of content is that content needs to be great. Content is king, right?
King.
So it doesn't really make a difference whether you have 30 hashtags or 3 hashtags. I think so hashtags were a way to discover that particular piece of content, right?
Yeah.
In a way, I think so it was a hack to reach out to more audience.
Right.
But the best hack is to have the best content.
Best content.
If you create good content, it will reach out, right?
Got it. So, but before this announcement, yes, of course, there was no such limit on hashtags. So, before this, did you see that there was a good traction when you when you had increased number of hashtags?
Not significant, I could say, or conclusive. I could say that there is a significant delta of using hashtag or no hashtag. But of course, depending on what kind of platform it is, so our learning has been make content which is aligned with the platform, right? Say, for example, Instagram. People are not there to see ads. People are there to see content, right? Whether it is relevant or entertaining content, right? So you need to be content first and then organically and seamlessly integrate your brand within the content. So that is the way to go about it.
Got it. And next, now I want to come to the tech aspect. So we have we see that number of platforms, they have like immersive tools on their application. If they want to check out a product or do a home tour, if they're looking for anything, they can see it virtually. So does housing also offer some kind of services like this?
We in fact are the pioneers in this when it comes to real estate. We have a dedicated division called Housing Studio, which takes care of all these virtual walkthroughs and digitours and those. We have a DigiSlate as well, which is a physical unit which we provide to all the developers that our customers can touch and pin zoom and see the entire project, right? And to software like walkthroughs and digitals. We are pioneers in this space.
Got it. And also, since we are talking about different mediums, I would also want to understand your perspective on the rise of CTV and OTT spaces as well. So what innovations in media buying or creative formats are you experimenting with on these platforms, in these mediums?
Of course, there is definite increase in connected TV penetration, right? And that also we have seen in the genres that we've been spending over the years. Say, for example, sports, right? We have seen the viewership of connected TV increasing year on year on that. Again, on what genre or plan? So, for example, if you're targeting OTT, right, then CTV is a primary. So if there's a new movie release or a web series release, you'd want to watch it on a connected TV, right? Yes. It's more of a family viewing in that sense. YouTube, it is still primarily mobile. So we continuously do, as I told you, media consumption behavior studies with the core audience, right? YouTube is still primarily mobile, but over the years, significant chunk is now almost 25-30% for our core audience is watching YouTube on connected TV. Whereas Meta is primarily mobile, of course.
Now
right?
it is.
So depending on which medium, if you want to target OTT, that has significant penetration. CTV has a significant penetration. YouTube still it is mobile heavy, but also it depends on what audience. For our audience, it is also a very good surrogate of an HHI audience. People who are watching content on connected TV are by default, in a way, HHI audience. So it also, targeting CTV and using demo, it wouldn't work because you wouldn't know which ID is being used. But if you had to do an SCCA targeting, for example, then connected TV is a good proxy for that. So we are exploring and continuously exploring different ways, whether it is in form of pre-rolls or mid-rolls, banner ads. Now there's of course there are pause ads as well.
Yes.
So we keep on exploring different possibilities that work for our audience. And as I told you, it is always elastic. So every month we keep on looking at the campaign, what performed, what did not perform, and likewise evolve and sort of make the media mix model more efficient.
Right. And another aspect in tech we are observing now is the rise of agentic AI. Now it is making marketing convenient rather than I don't want to use easy word. it too soon. I want to use the word convenient. So, what do you think of the agentic AI? How are you leveraging it? And do you see? Do you also compare campaigns created by human-led teams versus AI?
So I'll divide this into two parts. So first is the consumer behavior of doing searches, right? That we are seeing the shift, right? Personally, I have stopped going to Google, and I'm going more to Chat GPTs of the world, right? Because it is not just about showing 10, 12 blue links. It is about thinking, reasoning, and giving you the ready to use kind of information, right? And which Google has also realized, and now they are also showing that content initially at the start. So of course that shift has happened, and as a brand, every brand, right, is and we could see the kind of home searches also happening on such platforms like ChatGPTs increasing on a very high rate. So of course we are evolving. The thing that we need to really answer is that to get things right, because in search and discovery there are a lot of questions, and of course agentic AI having something ideally in-house, right, which could solve for that, and solve for every consumer query and give relevant options depending on the need. That is something that one has to solve for, rather than just having that piece there and which is not solving. So of course there's a lot of work which is happening on that front, and we will be ahead of the competition for sure in this part as well.
Understood. And my next question is around the handling of consumer grievances, also the trust factor. So it is critical in a category like real estate and transactions. So how does your marketing build or reinforce trust, especially in smaller towns? And also, how do you handle consumer grievances, if there are any?
So trust is a very critical factor when it comes to real estate. Again, it is a high stake decision, and as a marketplace, it's the first thing that you have to solve for. And as I told, that what consumers come to marketplaces for is to see maximum number of options as per their need, and to gather as much of information, the depth of information and the accuracy of information. So these are the two things which we are constantly working. Right, we have the freshest, most updated, and the width of options for whatever consumer needs that are there, and also within those options we'd have trusted and detailed content, right? So that is in a unorganized, still I would say relatively unorganized sector. That is a problem that we are constantly solving for. And that is how we. And in terms of consumer grievances, of course, we have an ecosystem in place, and very, very agile and responsive ecosystem to address and acknowledge any grievances that we have on social media or anywhere.
Okay, understood. Got it. And of course, I'm now coming to final couple of questions. What internal, capabilities do you think that you can build up or need to build to adopt the AI models as well on for your brand?
So we have already started that journey, right? Whether it is from a product perspective, we spoke about agentic search, right? So that journey is already started. Whether it is from a communication perspective, so we have already started making content through AI, whether it is performance-led ads or social content or brand ads, right? So again, wherever we could put AI and scale that process or fasten that process, we are already doing that. At current stage, AI is working very well for certain kind of communication, announcement value, product, tactical sort of things. It is still evolving when it comes to human emotion. But then again, we are using it in ways and means you'll not be able to tell whether it was generated by AI or not. So definitely we are right ahead in the journey in that front, and we are keeping our ears and eyes open in terms of what AI can throw at us and how could we leverage it best at housing.
Got it. And another question based on ROI. So, as like you said, content is king. So, as your content becomes a core part of your strategy, so how do you measure ROI on engagement versus conversions, like in actual in-app bookings or?
So let me break it down again into two parts. So content, whether you talk about advertising or social content, right? So when it is advertising, the typical things that you measure is organic installs or opens or direct traffic or increase in brand search queries. Of course, that we continue to measure and we see uplift whenever we do a campaign and all that stuff. The other part is the content, the social media content, right? Now there is a range of metrics that one should track. In my personal opinion, followers are good vanity. That's an output metrics, but what we go after is shares and organic. So that we don't promote that content. Now, of course, platforms work in a way that you need to boost a piece of content, but we have made it much stricter in-house that whatever content we are doing, we'll not promote it, and we'll see what kind of shares that we are getting. So that is one metric that we are really obsessed about. And if we are able to move or make the content share worthy, everything else will follow.
Understood. And finally, coming to a final question, 2025 is coming to an end. So, what are your plans for the next year? Any initiatives in the pipeline that you would like to discuss?
Broad pillars I'll tell you, and that is something that we are already working on. Of course, brand building, the shift that we see, whether from traditional to digital first, from spike to sustained or always on model. But the bigger shift that I see is just not advertising. It should be a balance of advertising and content, right? That is, and if we get that part right, then the ROI will be much better. And in terms of the experience, that is something that, as a marketplace, we need to give superior experience to our consumers and customers. So that is something that we are working on, that will be there. And technology, especially AI. So leveraging AI, be the first movers there and using it relevantly as well. Not just jumping onto the bandwagon, but using it relevantly so that it adds value to our consumers and customers' life. That is
Okay, got it. Thank you so much, Mr. Ralhan, for your time and for having this lovely conversation. I'm sure the viewers will get lots of insights from what the brand is doing and what their future initiatives would be. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.